Oh, yeah, hey, what's up, Zonebone?
You know what we do around here? We talk about the issues. I have a story to tell, which is, maybe I told this story on this channel before. There was this one time I went out to dinner with these people. I thought they were cool, okay? I thought they were cool, and I wanted to impress them. And there was a girl with these people, and she goes, my family is from, I can't remember where, New York or something. My family's from New York. And I go, oh, my family too. This wasn't true. I don't know why I said it, you know? So then she goes, oh, what part are they from? Wherever it was. And I go, they're not, actually. And then she said, okay. And then she started talking to somebody else. When something like that happens, you go home and you're like, what did I? You're like, what?
You know, you go, why did I do that?
The whole point of that is, you know, there's these people of the day who we make fun of, you know. And I'm just saying, all I'm trying to say is I couldn't imagine this level of, what would you call it? Public ridicule. I mean, the amount of embarrassment I've had from just saying mildly stupid things. Yeah, I couldn't imagine this. So, a little bit of empathy there. So please.
Kiss my ass.
The lady of the weekend is this lady, what's her name? Who cares? She's the lady who couldn't define what woke means to Brianna Joy Gray. But she started really getting a lot of attention on Twitter because people were digging up her old tweets. Oh my god, this has 5.7 million views? Oh my god. I guess I get it. I would be trying to figure out how to spin this too, but after the interview she tweets just before I think this is exactly what I would do. Just before we went on air, Brianna Joy Gray was on a hot mic. I heard her demeaning parenting in general in colorful and nasty terms. Oh man, stating parents only have kids in order to perpetuate their own narcissism. Oh, that changes everything. Oh, that changes my whole opinion of the situation. That what's her name? Brianna Joy Gray. That
unbelievable asshole.
Now you're the good guy, I guess. Okay, then it gets kind of more interesting. Just a couple days ago, she wrote an article for Newsweek. Ooh, okay, not bad. Now we're talking. This is what I'm talking about, okay? It's called Lemonade, guys, okay? And I think she did a pretty good job of that. She's like, okay, this is kind of embarrassing. You know, maybe I'll throw Brianna Joy Gray's ass under the bus on this one. Oh, she was saying kids are stupid. But, you know, in all that, there is a lot of attention. You know, we got to ride that attention wave. I was asked to define woke. My humiliation with my and also my went viral. I was looking at the numbers. I don't even know that this went that viral. I would be actually pretty impressed if the entire thing was a media strategy to get attention for this book. But this article is pretty good. It's supposed to elicit empathy. Okay? And it kind of does for me, you know. Until you read this lady's book, which I read her book, and then you're like, oh my god, it's really hard. It's really hard to feel sorry for somebody who's writing this level of absolute dreck. It's a delicate balancing act, promoting a book with 6 kids at home full time. Oh my god, it sounds like this. We have a recording from those kids. We have a recording from that household. And then you look at one of those kids' diapers. It's like, my book, Stolen Youth, which I read and we'll talk about in a second, about how I believe woke ideology is upending American childhood, was released a week ago. Okay, we're already peddling our crap here. Okay, then she's got to do this thing again. Right before we went on air, I heard one of the hosts speaking about I mean, is this relevant to the whole thing? Right before we went on air, I heard one of the hosts speaking about parents in what I perceived to be a negative way. I panicked. I love this idea, you know, it's like you're going on an interview show, you know, you're going on a talk show, and you know that one of the hosts is kind of ideologically totally on the other side from you, and whether or not this is even true, which it's probably not, you hear one of them say, kids suck, and you're like, what? I can't do this. Now I can't do this Now I'm not of sound mind enough to do this interview, but I'll push through because I am very strong and very brave. Watching me cry and panic was not a sight for my kids were used to seeing. Yet for the next day, they saw it a few more times. Okay, so that's, she goes into this whole thing, oh man, this really threw me off. This was really sad for me. Absolutely, we should have empathy for this person, and I do. This is sad. This is a sad story. Nobody should have to deal with this kind of crap, But it's probably similar feeling when you write a book basically calling all teachers who are some of the lowest paid, mistreated people in the country, oh, they're all perverts. That probably hurts people's feelings too, right?
Something to think about. Gee, what's her name again? Whatever this lady's name is, who cares?
I do hope this lady's okay as a human being, at a human level, but as her writing books level, don't write any more books. Okay, then we wrap this article from Newsweek up. How come I don't have a Newsweek article? What could I put? Hey, I embarrass myself every day, too. What about me, We homeschool our kids, and a lot of the time that looks like math or phonics lessons. But sometimes it looks like this. But sometimes it looks like this. Real life lessons in resilience, humility, and perseverance. Okay, all right, lady, it's not Remember the Titans, okay? So guys, leave this lady alone. A lot of people are giving her a hard time. Leave her alone, She's troubled. I do kind of agree with blaming everything on Brianna Joy Gray, though. The other day I did drink too much, and I lost my phone. I'm stumbling home. Goddamn Brianna Joy Gray. Kind of ironic because she has a very hard name to say. When you've had a few drinks. I still feel bad for anybody who becomes the person of the hour because I wouldn't probably be able to handle it. I'd move to Guatemala or something. But I would say she definitely didn't learn what is it again? The real life lesson in resilience, humility, and perseverance. So I felt a little sorry for this lady, so I was like, maybe I'll give her some money. Put Tembo, buy the Kindle. I'll buy the Kindle edition of this crap, And I read a bunch of this book, and whoa boy, wow. This is definitely one of the most neurotic, fever dream, crazed pieces of reactionary writing I think maybe I've ever read, and I've read a lot of this crap.
And whoa, wow.
Okay, A Stolen Youth, How Radicals Are, what? Sonic Youth, How Radicals Are Erasing Innocence and Indoctrinating a Generation. Oh, wow, great. Sounds like a real who. We named this book Stolen Youth, but we could have just as easily called it Woke War on Families, because the assault on childhood, oh my god, wow. Doing that to childhood. The assault on childhood is an all-out battle against the American family. The radical progressive left, the woke, are trying to completely remake society and start a revolution. They know they can't accomplish that without ideologically capturing America's youth. After all, you can't start a revolution among happy and contented citizens. Their goal, thus, is to make our kids miserable, make them question every fundamental building block of society, like what is a woman, what is a man, and make them rebuild their entire sense of reality, concept of right, or blah, 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 blah. It's, here's another part. It's not just gender identity indoctrination. Critical race theory is taking over whole curricula. Really? Probably in Kentucky, right? Like if I went to a high school in Kentucky, from social studies to math. Oh, absolutely. But while CRT has been at the forefront of parental protest in 2022, it's still just one piece of the woke indoctrination puzzle. While reading this, I thought of a joke, and you guys tell me if this is funny or not. Who wrote this? Chat GOP? Yeah. Good, great one. Who wrote that? Bill Maher? Who wrote that joke? One of Bill Maher's writers? This forced indoctrination extends into everything. It's not enough to teach kids the science behind climate change. We need to have them put on a protest, as schools across the country did in 2019. Instead of teaching actual science classes focused on learning biographical information about climate activist Greta Thunberg. Oh, wow, really? This is kind of funny. Just a sort of little interesting thing about writing a book like this. The sentence is, instead of teaching actual science, science classes focused on learning biographical information about climate activist Greta Thunberg. What is the girl's name? Greta Thunberg. And so I click. You have in the Kindle edition, you have you can check the reference, and the reference is, it's like these teaching resource things you could buy, like it's books you could buy for your classroom, I guess. And it's a link to Greta Thunberg related crap. If you're a teacher, you can buy a Greta Thunberg related thing, or you can watch a Greta Thunberg video. So I guess the implication is that maybe someone somewhere bought one of these. Okay. Also, a little note to those neurotic parents out there. Oh, they're indoctrinating my kids. They're indoctrinating my kids. What they're talking about is grade school, usually. Because if you're in high school, you should be learning a bunch of stuff, really. But they're focused on, they're corrupting the minds of little kids. If we were to be very charitable to this kind of crap, it's like, you really can't indoctrinate kids. I mean, that's another funny thing, is that, indoctrinating kids, I literally remember one thing from grade school. And this is the kind of thing that every person remembers from grade school, is that me and this girl, Lizzie, and this kid, Matt, were throwing rocks at some cars. Some older kids came over and they said, hey, you guys can't do that. You guys can't. What are your names? We got to tell the principal, what are your names? And I go, and I say my real name. And then Lizzie goes, my name's Lizzie. And this kid, Matt, this kid, Matt, he goes, my name's Joe. It's a good move. That's literally the only thing I remember from grade school. So good luck indoctrinating kids. The same woke narrative is bleeding into our youth. This brainwashing into left-wing ideology for all children, even for those whose parents lean leftward politically, is potentially devastating to the health of our nation. Oh my God. Now I didn't know that. I'm listening, and believe me, I'm terrified. And the mental health of individual children. In this book, we set forth with a few objectives. Expose how the woke are infiltrating American childhood. Provide parents with the tools to fight back. I'm going to guess that those tools to fight back are just being annoying, like going to school boards and kind of having a viral meltdown. I'm going to take a wild guess that those those are the tools, and tell the cautionary tales of parents who didn't realize what was happening until it was too late. Yeah, so this book is, it's madness, I would say, but there are parts in just the first couple chapters that are baffling. Okay, so we got the Greta Thunberg thing. Oh, it's indoctrination that a teacher can buy a book about Greta Thunberg. And then we get this. She's talking about the Soviet Union, that she had a relative who died in the Soviet Union. So some girls who lived in the Soviet Union discovered the hard way that protest was only allowable when it fit into the narrow confines of acceptable speech, a theme that carries to present day. Children who protest should be encouraged unless they're protesting something the woke left doesn't like. Yeah, all right. Weren't you just, literally 3 pages ago saying Greta Thunberg a teacher shouldn't even be able to buy a book? The whole book seems like that. I'm going to be honest, Okay, here we go. I was raised with the knowledge that the freedom I have gotten to experience in the United States should not, for a single moment. By the way, she was raised in Brooklyn, apparently. How old is this woman? Oh my God, I'm looking at her Wikipedia. This woman is 36 years old. She's 36 years old. She's writing this stuff that sounds like an 86-year-old man living by himself. She was raised in Brooklyn, too. Okay. I was raised with the knowledge that the freedom I have gotten to experience in the United States should not for a single moment be taken for granted. None of it is promised. Sometimes the slide toward an authoritarian society is slow. Other times it's very fast. Other times it sounds like this. And it goes like this. A lot of times it goes like this. And it goes like this.
Wow.
Other times it's very fast. America is in danger. Oh my God, definitely there's danger around every turn, especially at public schools. So we need to dismantle them and them to be privatized and segregated and not have to pay taxes. People are not being carted off to work camps, that's true. But that's also true for much of the Soviet Union as well. Gulags only existed for about 30 of the USSR's 69 years, and yet the stifling of speech, the fear of committing a crime today, that wasn't a crime yesterday, the indoctrination, the censorship, all persisted in Soviet society. Okay, okay. Not sure why a 36-year-old woman who lives in, she either lives in New York or Washington, D.C. I can't figure out why a woman who's 36, who lives in like a cosmopolitan city probably, why we're talking about the Soviet Union in a book about woke teachers or something. Oh, I saw a grade school teacher with a nose piercing. That teacher's probably trying to do an armed takeover of the electrical grid and the water supply. What are we talking about again here? What's her name? Bethany? Okay, here we go. Another amazing part from this book. Like the despots of failed leftist regimes, the woke's goal is to target children so their ideology spreads to parents. Enforced conformity is step one. Oh my God, that's very scary. Schools are a key battleground. Leftists needlessly closed schools during COVID and dared anyone to challenge their authority. These public schools are disgusting pervert factories. Filled, by the way, filled with perverts, okay?
But don't close them. But don't dare close them.
Okay, here, let's take this a little bit more seriously here. Here we go. This is from, what is this, page 265, really? Well, I'm that far in this stupid piece of crap? Okay. The erasing of problematic aspects of the past is a typical feature of those seeking to stifle dissent. Ooh, that sounds pretty bad. That sounds pretty bad there. The erasing of problematic aspects of the past is a typical feature of those seeking to stifle dissent. If we have nothing in common, no shared experience or family rituals or ideas, we are easier to sway and control. One feature of this is that what we believed in the recent past can no longer be allowed. Words we used or ideas we held must be discarded, and anyone who doesn't comply is suspect. You know, we're going to get into the serious zone a little bit here. It sounds like this. But there's definitely some past that people like Bethany, or really the people who pay people like Bethany, want to erase, which is stuff like this. This is from American history, what I'm about to read here, okay? This is from a book called Injustices, which, I was talking about in the...
Patreon.com.
Patreon.com/pendejo. In the unregulated stamping works of George Pullman's Chicago, boys, this is kids, were handed a short iron poker and tasked with keeping an endless series of cans in line as they traveled through a vat of molten metal solder. Though the boys wrapped their hands in cloth to protect them from the melted metal, this shielded them from little more than the most minor burns. The briefest splash would often cost a young boy his hand. Okay, I could read on and on about this, about child labor in the very recent American history, but it's terrible. I mean, it's not... This is one that I just cannot make funny, like, by any stretch of the imagination. She doesn't talk about this, but I'm going to tell you this right now. The people who fought against this and eventually led to the world that Bethany so enjoys right now, where kids' hands aren't melted off, sorry, I know it's terrible, in factories, is not one that was fought by her side. I'm just going to put it that way, Bethany, and you might want to look into this crap. Child labor was as much a northern problem as it was a southern problem, but in the South, cotton mill managers spoke openly of their hope that someday nearly all men would be unemployed, replaced by relatively cheap women workers and even cheaper children. Oh, the beautiful free market at work. It sounds like this. Bethany's free market. Bethany, this is what Bethany advocates for. I'm just kidding. Come on. Yeah, and no joke, this is the world that they're kind of tiptoeing back to because the free market is perfect and all this. But no, yeah, no, we should be worried about a woke teacher who has a Greta Thunberg book. This is from Insider. Instead of paying adults more, some states might let companies hire kids as young as 14 to fill the labor shortage. Oh boy, jeez. Republicans in some states are proposing exceptions to child labor regulations. That's because the labor shortage has impacted industries like meatpacking and construction. This is great. Research shows that those industries could attract adult workers if they increased pay and benefits. Nah, we can't do that. Get those kids in there. Get those kids in there. Weird. Bethany, that's weird that I searched that book. She didn't write about that.
Anyway, guys, I'm against child labor.
Okay, don't clip this out of context, okay? You sons of bitches, do that. But I do have a business idea, which is of that. I would like to see a restaurant, in my town where I live that's owned and operated. Maybe it's a co-op. Ooh, okay. It's a cooperative restaurant owned and operated by 10-year-olds. That'd be hilarious, The place is on fire most of the time. You get your food and it's like a string cheese that's wrapped and a Sharpie marker that the kid sneezed all over. And then you're like, "Can I talk to the manager?" And then the manager comes over. It's like, "Why is he crying?" Well, there we go, guys. The person of the minute, hour, couple days. The person of a couple days, some lady, Feel a little bit sorry for her. You're 36 years old and like everybody's making fun of you for a couple days. It'll go away. Everybody will forget about you, But get it together. Get it together with this crap. Stop writing stupid books like this. Stop writing dumb books like this. You wacky lady, you. And always remember to
take the towers down now.
When?
Take the towers down now.
Oh, now. Oh, okay. Well, let's get on it. Let's do some
violent crime.
And I will talk to you later.
Hey, guys.
Guess what? You're not even getting the whole show. If you want every episode and a whole bunch of other shit,
Subscribe on Patreon.
Subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. Just click the stupid little link below the video in the comments.
See, right there.
There you go. Click it and that, yep. When you become a patron for as little as 2 bones, you get the Tuesday, Thursday, patron-only episodes. You also get the weekly Book Oblega show where we talk about important books. The questions and comments thing where you can ask questions and make comments and all this crap.
And the weekly behind-the-scenes show. All for less than the price of a rancid Charleston chew.
And for only 25 putrid little dollars,
you could become a producer.
That's right, support the show and get your name up here. Look at these people. Look at these people. It make the show possible. Okay? God. I mean, without these beautiful people, this show goes straight into the dumpster. A rotten, just wet, disgusting dumpster. Behind a restaurant. So there's old milk in there. That's where this show ends up without these people. Is that what you want? Okay, I guess it's what you want. I'll just leave. Nope, it's done. It's too late. Okay? Here we go. Here's the dump truck. Come to pick up the show. This is what would happen with no producers. Thank you.